Hey folks, let me adjust this camera here real quick. All the way across the table. Oh, there we go. Yes, I am wearing pants. That's a good sign, right? My lovely bride will be here momentarily. She's doing something. Getting water. Hey folks, BreakAway Homesteader here. Megan's in the back there getting some water.
Hello.
We are the BreakAway Homesteaders. We're so glad to have you here tonight. You can see who's on board currently. Current viewers, chat disconnect. That's weird. Chat. Unable to connect chat. Please try again later. That's weird. Live chat. There we go. It's on. Who's in the house with us? We got Incense Shops or Pickers. Chip Signal, welcome. Doc Ferris is here. I haven't seen your cat at all today.
He's in the bed.
He's a lazy bum. Dipper E is here. Big Bear Homestead's here. Hello. Always New Times. Hey, Donna or Steve, whichever one you are, or both of you, welcome. I haven't seen y'all in a while. I'm glad you guys are here.
Is that the one that did the things?
Yeah, she's the one who made the shopping bags.
My mom and dad are settled in Germany, and they absolutely love the bags.
Yeah,
the shopping bags.
My father-in-law, did a stress test on your bags, and they failed with, or not failed.
They didn't fail.
They passed with flying colors.
Yeah, he had to stop. Finally, my mom was like, "Dave, I understand you're trying to stretch these out, but I have to be able to carry them." So she made him stop putting stuff in it.
Hey, BreakAway, so any comments on the kombucha government stuff I mentioned?
Our chat was wonky,
Yeah,
so
our chat
we
was
haven't
wonky.
had a
We
chance
not have
to
the actual
keep going up here.
info.
If you go all the way to the top.
There you go. Remember a couple years ago, the government
There you go.
wanted to yank kombucha out of a non-liquor stores because the longer it sits, the more it ferments. And parents actually giving their kids alcohol. Kombucha does not, it has alcohol in it, but such a minute amount, it's not going to get you, you'd have to drink a lot to get drunk. It's not recommended to drink a whole lot in a daily sitting. CDC recommends 4 ounces. Most people recommend 8 ounces of kombucha at the same time. So before we get into kombucha, we're going to give you an update what's going on in the homestead.
Yeah.
Bunnies, eyeballs are open. They're over
Yeah.
a week old. They are actually 2 weeks old today. And they're getting there. They're hopping around. I had to put 2 back in their little nests today.
Yeah. Aww.
And so they're ready to start getting out and hopping around. One more week, and then we will take the actual nest boxes out of the rabbit cages, and they will all run around to get weaned off and
Start eating some food.
Because within the end of the month, they'll end up being sold and ready to go. So we had 24 total. What else? Megan and I went and got tattoos over the weekend.
We did.
A happy Mother's Day gift and a gift to each other. We've been talking about doing this for a long time. Several years ago, she wasn't expecting me to do it or bring it up. And dogs can get out from underneath the table. So what did we get? Ring finger anchors. Oh, yes.
And mine's up like this.
And mine's up
you gotta
like
this. Punch them.
Yeah, and I'm going to punch them. Bam. But we got 2 tattoos, visible tattoos. This is my very first visible tattoo.
Mine as well. So it's
Yeah.
kind of weird. I keep thinking there's something on my finger that doesn't come off.
I know, right? Has anybody approached you
No,
or asked you about it?
no.
Several people have asked me, like, what is that on your finger? I'm like, it's a tattoo. They're like, shut up. Because I'm not the type of guy that people see as getting a tattoo. A lot of people don't think I have any tattoos.
That's number 5 for him.
But that would be incorrect.
Number 6 for me.
So, yeah. So we went on Sunday, got tattoos.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long at all.
Mm-mm.
It didn't hurt at all, really.
It was really not as bad as I thought it would be, you know, on a finger where there's a hole in it.
She was super nervous. It was hilarious.
Well, I get nervous before I get any tattoo. I mean, it's a big step, and I think a little bit of nerves is healthy.
So this is the first week free of rings.
Yeah. Well, I moved mine to my right hand, like a European.
Yeah.
But he's going ring free.
I'm going ring free, and it's definitely interesting for sure.
You can still see where his ring was on his finger.
Yeah, you can still see where my ring was on my finger. It's not that it was getting tight. It still fit correctly.
It was more, he's already lost the stone out of it once, and by accident found it on his desk at work.
Found it.
And put it back in. And so it was kind of... I don't wear my original rings for that same reason, because I don't want to lose the stones.
Yeah. And
also, where I work, we go through gloves a lot, and I know several people that have taken their gloves off and chucked them in the trash and not realized until a couple hours later that they threw their ring away too. And so...
Getting started on homesteading. Hey, welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome. He just said he had 14 new baby rabbits that are 3 weeks old, and they won't stay in the box anymore.
Yeah.
Now, by the 3rd week, buddy, you need to take that box out because they don't need the box anymore. They need to get acclimated to
life,
to being an adult bunny. Wild rabbits will leave their babies at about 2 weeks.
Really?
Yep.
Your eyes are open. Peace.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I can wear rings. I actually switched to one of the silicone ones because of the job I have. I got my ring stuck in the cages a couple times, and it kind of scared me. I know a couple people that work for like first responder, law enforcement, firefighter, stuff like that, that have either degloved a finger or had it gets when it goes bad, it goes bad really bad, and so I switched to the silicone a while ago because if anything, all it's going to do is snap. And it's not going to snap my finger, it'll snap the ring. So that's something that I made the choice to do a while ago.
I know several people who degloved their rings. So I was in the Navy for 11 years. I was on an aircraft carrier for 4, the USS Kitty Hawk. And each door has a watertight seal on it, a door or anything like that. So it's got a pretty sharp edge on it. There have been people who fell over due to heavy seas or whatnot, and they'll grab that edge, and the ring will create a notch into this and just pull the skin right off. It's creepy looking because you can still move everything. All the tendons are still good. You just pull the skin off your finger, roughly. Yeah, majority 9 times out of 10 they get it back on and sew it back, and it grows right back. There's no issue.
So gross.
It's so weird. But that was one thing is when we went underway, we were not allowed to wear wedding rings. Yeah. No sailor was. You put it around your neck on a chain or whatever. So yes, not wearing it with working. I did a lot of work I did some work over the weekend outside, and it was very nice Sunday evening to not have to have my ring rub up against things.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Feels a little naked.
Yeah,
but so far so good.
So bees.
I got plans for number 7 and number 8, so keep posting on that.
Yeah.
We got the bees.
We got the bees. Bees have been inside their home or their hive for a week and a half now. So I did the weekly check on Saturday, and they had already busted through about a half gallon of sugar syrup.
Yeah, there were about half of them were dead when we got them. So he really did a lot of stuff like with the sugar syrup to try to give them that boost straight out of the box.
I don't have the name on the top of my head of the the place where I got my bees. Thank you. I ordered my bees through Tractor Supply. I ordered the Carnolians, and they came from California. They came in an overnight package, which was supposed to be there 8 hours before it actually arrived.
Yeah.
So it was stuck in the back of a hot truck and came at like 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah. There were some storms over Kentucky or something, and they actually did, when we talked to the driver when he got here, that as soon as they landed on the flight, there was somebody that picked them up and brought them and met the driver on his route to get them to us as soon as possible. So, I mean, it was what it was. But still, there were quite a few of them that were dead. So,
Doc Ferris, I hate your face. He caught 6 swarms in the past 2 weeks. No.
Shoot them out the trees again?
I've got 2 swarm traps out there, and none of them have
Ain't
done
nothing.
Nothing. They've got drawn comb in them. I did not put lemongrass oil because we don't have it. Let me get some lemongrass oil.
I thought we did in the
It
back.
tracks. No.
Hmm.
Hi.
Hey, Charlie.
How's it going,
Come
Charlie?
here, monkey.
Meow. All right, come on, keep going.
Come on. Come here, monkey.
Do something. All right. So the Carnolians. So we got this package in the mail, and looking at them, they were buzzing. As soon as I got them, and the guy's like, "They're really loud." I said, "It's because they're hot."
And they're angry.
And no, they were just hot.
They're angry.
They're not angry.
They were angry.
My wife, who's never read a book about bees in her life, apparently knows that they were angry.
They were angry.
They were hot because they were buzzing their wings and they're trying to get ventilation. So immediately I went into get this in the box mode and put on my gear and went to go put them in the box. I did not worry about getting stung. Last year I got stung several times.
Scrape away.
Yes, I worried. Coined the term "Scrapeaway Homesteader" instead of "Breakaway Homesteader." Thank you, Robin and Jason from Big Bear Homestead. And immediately went to go put these in the box and get them set up. And first thing I noticed when I opened the box, and I ordered this from Tractor Supply, so it's the bee company they work with, there's no can inside the box. Normally when boxes are shipped, packaged bees are shipped, they come with a can of sugar syrup to keep moisture and keep the bees fed and everything like that. These bees went 2 days without anything. I'm surprised any bees lived to tell the tale. And so second thing, when I dumped the box of bees, half of them were dead. Half of them were dead. And that does not make me happy. And that's probably because they didn't have anything to drink.
Yeah.
Or eat. Or to.
And then the candy thing with the queen.
So I go ahead and pop the queen out. Queen looks good. Usually you pop the cork and put it in between the frames. And there's candy installed inside of it. No candy whatsoever. Pop the cork. Bam. There's the queen. Like, well, there's not. Okay. So after attempting to make a marshmallow with marshmallow fluff and powdered sugar,
which did not work.
I gave up and went to the store, bought a whole bag of small marshmallows.
For one marshmallow.
Stuffed the marshmallow, put it in, closed the top, and prayed that it was going to be a decent hunt.
Yeah.
That we did enough to make sure that these bees were prosperous. 1 week later, 4 frames are full of comb. There were a couple of frames of drawn comb in there. I tore those apart and I guess reused the wax and made new comb. And 3 frames are full of larvae. Because of their condition, I made sure they had plenty of extra syrup, sugar syrup water, and I put a pollen patty, half a pollen patty in there, so they can have food and then get right to work, right? And so opening it up, a lot of the frames were full of larvae, and in about a week here we'll have a double again hive That's going to go well. But that's what carnelians are known for, is for multiplying quickly and for swarming a lot. And so that's one of the reasons why we got it, because the Italians last year just did not produce numbers.
They didn't until they didn't, and then they just pieced out.
We had a requeen once.
Yeah.
Last year, and that was.
I don't have to do that.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. It was expensive too. So they are doing well. I just refilled their sugar. That's disgusting.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just listening to you talk, picking up a watch.
And your dad's scanning a watch. So what else happened over this week?
Bugs evaluation thingy.
Huxley, we took Huxley to the pediatrician that we're going to be taking him to just get an initial guideline on what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, they have a really, really well-known mental health kind of program side of the practice for children. So we loved his prior pediatrician, but it was we needed
the programs that were available through this other pediatrician was well above the programs we have with our current pediatrician.
Yeah.
So two things. The doctor was like, yeah, he looks like he's got high functioning autism, and she was blown away the fact that he could read, but it's not verbal. Like, he won't tell you sentences. He will tell you my arm hurts, my back hurts, my nose, or whatnot. But he can read. I mean, he can read.
Yeah.
Full sentences, full blown, and
compound words, stuff like that.
Exactly. And then turn around and just be nonverbal again. So, and then she turned around and said, but I can't make that decision.
Yeah, we have to see the psychiatrist.
Yeah. So she had openly said, this is what I think. However, I'm not the person to make that call. We will get you hooked up with the person who needs to make that call. So we got
we got on the waiting list
appointment for a psychiatrist to actually
evaluate him,
and diagnose.
And then we also got on the books
a 9-month waiting list.
That was for the psychologist through that program.
Yeah.
They have psychiatrists at their practice, and that's who he will see to actually make the diagnosis. She thinks that there's a possibility that there could be some ADHD and OCD mixed in as well. So there are steps we can take to well, knock him off.
Knock who off? Him?
Jack.
Go on, Jack. Well, you're the one who's letting all the cats up here.
They've all come up from your side. Charlie is sitting there quite peacefully.
Yeah, Charlie's got rain anyway.
And so most likely high functioning autism with a mix of ADHD and OCD. So once we meet with the psychiatrist, we can see what steps we can take to help mitigate the things that we can, and then we'll move on from there with the autism. So kind of we're there with that.
So we're going to look through the comments here. Donna, Freaky Pickers, and y'all. Suburban Hillbilly is in the house. What's up, Sub? ABG, greetings from Maine. Freaky Geek.
Yeah,
I leave my box in, but I turn it sideways where they have a place to get off the wire. She's talking about placing.
Yes, I know.
Okay, all right, got it. So for everybody else who doesn't know, she's talking about placing the beehive box inside the actual beehive and then come out by themselves.
She's talking about the rabbits.
Oh, apparently.
That was the one that had the rabbits. They're 3 weeks old.
All right. Doc Ferris caught 6 swarms the past 2 weeks.
We've already done that. You already told him you hated his face.
I do hate his face. Can I continue on here, please?
Because you got gross things to talk about.
I know. Okay. Chris Signal, if you know any Vietnamese folk in Pacific Islanders, they most assuredly have plenty of lemongrass plants they will give you and can plant.
We're not quite that diverse here in North Carolina.
No, we're not. They were hangry.
They were hangry. See? Angry.
The bees were angry. And hangry is an actual real word. Kitty's here. Hey, Kitty. The queen was not dead, Freaky. Did you complain to the Tractor Supply? I have not complained yet. I haven't had the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really haven't had the time. I'm happy because they bounced back, and hopefully this type of bee will definitely work out. The bees did bounce back. Grandma, so happy. Homestead, welcome. We have 20 people in the room.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Getting started on homesteading. Good evening to you. Hope your day was good. Our day was fantastic.
It didn't suck, so
It did
that
not
is.
suck. Jack, this is not a place to be. You don't need to jump on my table. All right? Thank you. So, with all that wrapped up, we good?
I'm good.
All right. Let's talk about Booger.
The most disgusting thing in the world, in a word. So I am one of those people that cannot stand the word moist.
Moist.
Okay, I cannot stand it. It makes me cringe internally, externally. Scobie is another word that makes me want to vomit.
And then when you look at it,
and this has been sitting on my kitchen.
you look at it and you go, Scoby.
It's bad enough you have one on the screen and I'm
Scobie.
trying to talk
That was
to
like
people.
an inch thick right there.
I know, it's disgusting.
Oh.
It makes me, I kind of want to slap you in the face with it though. Probably be good for your skin.
It is good for your skin. We're going to talk about that. You can't, the vinegar actually exfoliates your skin.
I can't.
It draws out nasties.
I
So you're
can't.
going to have that loogie on your face.
Our turkeys come in on Wednesday.
Yes, our turkeys come in tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Oh shit, tomorrow's Wednesday. They come in tomorrow.
So, yeah, we will definitely post on that.
Yeah.
I think our next, I want to start a new thing. So I have a little bloggy. This is an old school video logging camera. I want to start a little series called Homestead Adventures. And like, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We got the turkeys coming up. We got our greenhouse. We got our vegetables we're producing. We got all kinds of stuff that just bam, right there, and then post it.
Easy enough.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool, I think anyway. And so the video quality will not be that great because this camera's like
8 years old.
8 years old. Well, last time we used it was in France.
We have used it since then. Then it's older than that, honey, because we've been in the States since 11.
This is like a step. No, it wasn't the same camera. It was the same camera when we went to France, but
Oh, you had to get the new
step
one.
up. This is the newer one.
Okay.
But
So probably still like 8 years old.
still like 8 years old. So it's going to be fun. I think you guys are going to like it. So back to this booger tea.
I'm out, y'all. I can't. It literally makes me want to vomit.
So she's going to step out. She's going to say goodnight for the evening.
I'll come back at the end. I'll
Okay.
probably go lay on the couch or something.
And
But,
put
like,
in headphones or
Yeah,
something like
I
that
can't.
so you don't want to hear about what's going on here. You sure you don't want to try a little bit?
I do not.
Just a little bit. You don't have to eat the booger. You just have to try the tea.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Thank you, Meatloaf.
You're welcome. I told you if you asked me, I would throw some meatloaf out there. So on that note,
Ah,
I'm out.
the entertainment never stops, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why you love me.
Do me a favor. Point that towards me a little bit. No. Just the camera itself. There you go. There you go. Fantastic. I think. Let me check. All right, we're good. Thank you, Megan. That doesn't help. Does not help. Thank you, Megan.
Do you need these?
Yes. If you could put those here, that'd be fantastic. All right. Kombucha. Fermented tea.
Sorry.
Booger tea. There are many names that you'd want to call this stuff. It's an old traditional tea made by the Chinese, and fermenting of things like figure out from that and looking at your comments at the same time. If you guys have any more additional advice, feel free to add it to your chat and my buffering. Sorry for buffering, folks. I just updated my internet. It's been in and out. I've been doing something, but it'll work here in a little bit. So, buffering. Okay, and it's back. I think it's back now. Okay, everybody's saying I'm back. That's fantastic. So the last part I was talking about, we're going to figure out what is that booger thing in the tea. It's called a Scobie, and what it is specifically. What is it? What does it do? And the things they do with it after it's already been made. And how to make one, and if not, buy one. So strap down, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and start. I got my notes here. I'm going to go ahead and start with that. So known as the Immortal Health Elixir by Chinese and originating in the Far East around 2,000 years ago, kombucha is a beverage with tremendous health benefits extending to your heart, your brain, and especially your gut. How does this ancient drink make such a huge difference in your body? So what it's doing is taking black tea with sugar in it, and it's fermenting it. It is basically same process beer is made. It is taking a sweet product, using bacteria and yeast, and the yeast and bacteria eat the sugar and turn it into byproducts. That is acids, that is vitamin B, and that is alcohol. So due to fermentation process involved in creating kombucha, it contains a large number of living, healthy bacteria known as probiotics. It's the same stuff that's inside yogurt. These bacteria line your digestive tract and support your immune system as they absorb nutrients and fight infections and illness. So this is a great drink for those who have leaky gut. Since 80% of your immune system is located in your gut, and the digestive system is the second largest part of your neurological system, it is no surprise that the gut is considered the second brain. Now, it has quotations around the second brain. I want to take a stop here and talk about what the second brain is. So everybody has their small and large intestine, right? It's all in the belly right there, right? There is something that holds all those intestines together, and they call it the second brain. It's because it's part of your neurological system, and it actually functions like your brain. Do yourself a favor sometime, go on to YouTube, type in the word second brain stomach. Just that. And there's an explanation there someplace. I don't have a link, but there are several videos out there talking about how scientists are discovering that there's neurological activity in your stomach, just like your brain. And that is why they say your gut has 80% of your health comes from your gut. So if you already eat a whole food based diet, drinking kombucha regularly is a great addition that can help maintain peak immune health, which trickles down into an impressive number of benefits for your overall health. Now the big question, what is kombucha? Kombucha is a fermented beverage consisting of black tea and sugar. That's it. All right, you guys have a good night. Yeah, I was just kidding. Let's check what's going on here. So you really do have brain farts. Yes, always. I like that. That would be a second brain fart. Hello, Microfarm Starter. Welcome to the channel. Freaky Geek says it's going to be right back. Chipsicle says, I just heard about the leaky gut for the first time 3 days ago from a friend. He found out that it stopped eating things like green beans. His leaky gut was fixed. No idea just what he told me. A leaky gut is caused by things like gluten, different types of sugars like corn syrup, stuff like that, and just the continued pollution of your body with synthetic items that are not wholesome for you. That's another thing you should look up is leaky gut syndrome. It's a real thing now. Deborah E says June is my favorite, but it's expensive to make. Uses honey in place of sugar. You know, any real sugar is going to be. I didn't say a specific type of sugar. Any sugar and yeast in a wet situation at a room temperature will create these same byproducts. So continuing on, So it consists of black tea and sugar that's used as a functional probiotic food. It contains a colony of bacteria and yeast that is responsible for initiating the fermentation process once combined with sugar. After fermentation, kombucha becomes carbonated and contains vinegar, B vitamins, enzymes, probiotics, and high concentrations of acid. That's acetic acid, gluconic acid, and lactic acid. Same stuff in milk and just regular apple cider vinegar and whatnot. Stuff that's not good for your teeth, but it's good for your gut. And what it does is it balances the pH in your system to be a healthier system. All right. So talking about the Scobie, these bacteria are known as cellulose-producing bacteria. This means it produces cellulose, which acts as a shield to cells. So that brings up the question right now, what is a Scobie? A Scobie is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Say that 5 times fast. Symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. And what it is, guys, the booger itself is nothing but cellulose. The sugar tea solution is fermented by bacteria and yeast, commonly known as a Scobie, symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Although it's usually made of black tea, kombucha can also be made with green teas or broth. Contrary to common claims, the Scobie is not kombucha. The Scobie in kombucha is not a mushroom. It is not a mushroom. It's not a fungus. It's cellulose. So if you're interested in making kombucha, there are places you can buy Scobies. I'm going to switch over now to my other screen and show you exactly where you can get it. Display capture. And bam. So this is on Amazon. You can buy these on Amazon between $5 and $30. People pay for Scobies. But guys, I'm going to show you how to make it. It's not hard to make it. Just, if you have some patience, you can definitely make it for about $3.
An understanding wife who doesn't mind a booger on her counter.
Yeah, whatever. And hey guys, once you have one, they continue to multiply. So we'll talk about that here as well in a minute. So let's check out what's going on the chat. Who? We're talking about the second brain, honey. The memory that holds your stomach together.
Mm-hmm.
They're calling it a second brain. And Donna from Old Ways, she's like, "See, I told you I can have a brain fart." It was funny as that. So Chip Signal, he was going through $100 of antacids a month, subscribed for over the counter for years. Once figured out the leaky gut, he fixed it with the diet. So along with leaky gut is candida. Candida is when you have an over obsessive amount of yeast in your system. You'll have a white film on your tongue. You're lethargic all the time, sleepy all the time. That really contributes to leaky gut syndrome. And if you fix one, it'll help fix the other, and eventually you'll be good to go. So Always Steve says, or Donna says, it's a tea jellyfish. MBG says, yuck. Grandma's so happy, Homestead. The Scobie my grandkids think is awesome. Weird science, they call it. And Freaky says that picture looks like a silicone boob. Because it does look like a silicone boob. Go on. That is funny. Freaky, that is not a dirty mind. It does look like an implant. So you can't buy them. I don't do a whole lot, but once or twice a month I'll go to a flock swap where people exchange animals, do stuff like that, and I'll set up a little booth if I have any animals to spare, quail or rabbits or eggs or hatching eggs for quail. I'll put them on the tailgate and sell stuff, and just talk to people who want a homestead. And this would be like the perfect thing to take to a market or to something like that, and you could sell them. So, so let's go over making a Scobie. And this is not hard at all. There, you need 3 things. You need, actually, you need more than 3 things. You need a clean, sterilized, put it in boiling water jar. This is not clean or sterilized. I mean, it's clean, but it's got flour in it. You need the canning lid without the top, just the lid itself. A piece of napkin or paper towel. Some tea that is room temperature, and a jar of room temperature kombucha. So this is traditional kombucha. I got this at Aldi's. This was $2. And the thing about kombucha is it's not filtered. And so there's a part of that booger that this batch came from inside this, just inside the liquid itself. So it has everything inside this little bottle to get you a Scobie grown in your own home. And I guess it's like raising a little animal or something. I don't know. But you can see, you can't see through it, but it's good to go. When you open it, it makes a psst, right? It fizzes, it bubbles. It smells very vinegary. Now, I ain't gonna lie. You're gonna see them people out there, oh, this kombucha, it's fantastic, it's great, it's bubbly, it tastes delicious. They're all lying. Kombucha is not a great tasting drink. It takes some time to get used to, but it's a very healthy drink. And if you can work with it and deal with the taste, then it'd be better for you than a lot of other things. And it's a free source of vitamins, nutrients, and other health benefits that doesn't take a whole lot to do. So I'm not buying yogurt every day for my probiotics. Yogurt is expensive. I just drink kombucha. So I'm going to try it because I have not tried it. This is just regular kombucha. So it's got a fizziness to it. It's got some sweetness to it. Tang of vinegar. And that's what it tastes like. Sweet water with vinegar in it that's carbonated. And so, this is what you're going to need. So, make yourself some tea, some black tea. 2 cups of black tea. And place it inside your jar. And it's going to get to about halfway point right there. And Donna, I know you're yelling at me because you know exactly how many ounces and cups and everything like that's inside of a jar. But it'll go to about halfway. And then you can take half a cup of sugar. You're going to pour it inside there, mix it up, make sure it gets nice and dissolved. You're going to take this beverage and you're going to pour it into a glass to where it's about right there. And you can enjoy that beverage because it's good for you, right? And know exactly what you're going to be getting. So if you start with traditional kombucha, you've never done this before, start with traditional kombucha so you know exactly what the taste tastes like. So when you get there and making your own kombucha, you know where to stop, what's too far. Because if you let your kombucha go too long, it will turn into vinegar, which is another great source to make vinegar with. And so drink all this, pour it in a glass, drink all that. What you want is at the bottom. Because if you look at the bottom, I don't know how well you can see the bottom, but it's very cloudy. All that gunk from the Scobie is inside that bottom right there. So once your tea's good, you're going to pour that little bit inside there, mixed around a little bit. Excuse me. Carbonation. Place the paper towel over the top. Screw the lid down. And you got a nice little seal. Now, this is not an airtight seal. Air can get in, air can get out, but nothing can get in, no bugs or anything like that, and nothing can get out. You're going to take this, put it inside a closet, or leave. If you put it inside a dark space, it'll grow quickly. It'll grow in about a week for what you need to start. Now, if you want to be quick about it and make a whole batch, stop, guys. You can do it in a larger jar, which we'll get into here very, very quickly. So, let's say you put your sweet tea in there, you put your little bit of Scoby juice in there, and you check on it a week later, 2 weeks later, it looks like that boob implant that we saw on online there. So it looks something like that. So you know you're good to go. You had just formed a mother or a Scobie. You just formed a symbiotic culture or colony of bacteria and yeast. You just made a Scobie, and for the low price of $2. Or you can go online if you don't want to wait. Check your Prime out and spend $13 and do that. Either way, you're still going to have to brew a batch of kombucha, which is going to take some time to ferment. And so, why be in a hurry? You know you're going to do it. Stop, dogs. Stop, both of you. So, what is the end result? The end result is this, my friends. You see that in there? There's one floating on top, and there's a few floating in the bottom. You see how clear it is? You can see right through it, right? It's clear. That's because the yeast and bacteria in the Scobie have taken up all the sugar inside this mixture here and eaten it. And eventually that yeast will break down and die, and it'll go all the way to the bottom there. And the dead yeast is actually a huge source of vitamin B6. It's the concentration vitamin, right? So I'm opening this up. I'm going to take this out. I'm actually going to show you guys what it looks like. One thing to look for when your Scobie is forming is you're looking to make sure there's no mold on there. It shouldn't mold. It'll haze over and then create like this film. But you don't want any mold. So smell it. Smells like that stuff. This took literally 2 weeks, maybe 3 on my countertop. This is not the first time I made it. This is mother from the old batch I made. I just put it in there to make a new one, and I'm going to pull it out. And it's funny because when you pull it out, the first feeling you get is, I don't know. God, what does it feel like? It's so weird. It's so weird to tell you what it feels like. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So I'm going to turn this light off here. Maybe you guys can get a better view of this. It's very bright. There we go. Dripping everywhere. There's the backside. This is the backside that's exposed to the tea. That's where the colony starts. This is the top part, which is exposed to the oxygen, which creates a layer in between the exposed oxygen, and it transmits oxygen very slowly down into the bottom, which is why it makes layers, and it causes the reaction of the yeast and bacteria to do their magic in creating probiotics, vinegar, and alcohol. So I'm going to put that back in there. So once you make that, should have kept that in. Now it's stuck. Now it's going to flip over. Fantastic. It's okay. Because we're going to make a batch of kombucha here in a second. I'm going to try this. Wow! That is very vinegary. So that says more vinegary, more acidic. And if you prefer it that way, that's great. But that just tastes like apple cider vinegar, straight apple cider vinegar, which isn't horrible. Some people have a real knack for vinegar. Yeah, it doesn't bug me that much, but that's too acidic for that range for me. So let me pull up the chat here and see what's going on. So Deborah E says, I think it tastes great. You got to have a taste bud for it, and if you could tolerate it, you should drink it. That's what I say. So Grandma's so happy, said we just gave one to the college kid and he thought he had been given $1 million. He was so excited to make some. And that's the thing about this stuff. It continues to multiply and continues to multiply. It makes layers. And you can see, maybe, dropped it. Let's see if I can get a hold of the damn thing. I'm getting the fork. Alright, fork. Fork adesso nagashimasu, dozo. I'm going to bring the old mother out, which is what that one that I showed you was growing on. And if you look at it, turn the slide off again so you guys can see it. I'm dripping all over the place. There's layers of Scobie. I mean layers. They're like contact lenses of Scobies. Like literally more and more and more. And the older they get, the more darker they get, but they're still viable to make kombucha. I'm going to have to wash this whole tablecloth when I'm done. I'm going to smell like vinegar too. I have to take a shower. So, let's make some kombucha here real quick. I'm going to use my mother or my Scobie that I just made, and we're going to go through the steps on making kombucha. You can make regular sweet tea with regular black tea. You can use anything you want as long as there's a combination of sugar and water. I've got a jar here. I don't particularly like the flavor of just regular plain kombucha, right? So I've got this container here. This is glass. This is actually made in Spain. I got this at Marshall's for 15 bucks. And it is beverage authentic glass, established 1896. This is made in Spain. And this is made from 100% recycled glass. How cool is that, right? So I got that from Marshall for 15 bucks. I think it's a gallon and a half by the looks of it, so on and so forth. So I don't like, the thing is you can make totally different flavors of kombucha tea. I don't like those. I want some flavor in it. A lot of people put ginger in there, so on and so forth. If you just want to do the lazy man way, which I'm going to show you, is you could just go buy tea. Already pre-mixed tea. Any tea you want, as long as there's sugar and water in it, is going to make kombucha, right? Every week. Once it gets to the point to where it suits your needs, there's some sourness to it, there's some fizz to it, and some sweetness to it, drink it. It's still going to be good for you regardless how long you put it in there. And then you'll know at the point which you're going to have to start over again. So it's best to have one or two of these, folks, so you can rotate out, because once your kombucha gets low, you're going to not only want to roll over that Scobie into the new canister, but you're also going to want to put at least 1 cup of that old kombucha into the new batch. So we're going to do this. This is the lazy man way. I've got 2 things here. I've got Lipton green tea citrus. This is a great tasting drink. One issue, and I understand. The first ingredient is water. Second is high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup is a type of sugar. So one thing to look out for if you're not using organic cane sugar is the type of sugar it is. Corn syrup is a type of sugar that ferments quickly, and so you'll notice a lot of bubbling. So you cannot shut this off, close it, because it'll explode. You want to have it to be able to breathe. This breathes right here through this paper towel. If I have a band, I could put a paper towel on this, put a rubber band on, allow it to breathe, or I could poke a hole on top of that, or I could put a fermentation valve on top of it, and as it expands and eats that sugar and turns it into a byproduct, it'll be able to breathe. So we're going to make a batch right now of kombucha. My favorite is peach tea. I love me some peach tea. My wife, she makes the alcohol. I make the beer. She's known as Pappy Megs in our parts, and she makes a mean peach. And this is an alcoholic concoction that has peaches in it, and it's phenomenal. Sweet peach. It takes peach brandy to the next level, in not only taste but potency of alcohol, right? So what I'll do is I'll have regular tea, regular iced tea. I'll pour some of that inside there, and I'll have the perfect peach tea. But this is good too. I love peach tea. And so I'm going to pour this in here. So I'm going to say this vessel holds about, as I said, gallon and a half, gallon and a quarter. Move this down a little bit so you guys see a little bit better. Gallon and a half, gallon and a quarter of tea. Let's say you have that tea. You want to make a Scobie and kombucha at the same time. You could pour that stuff in and put it in a spot, a dark spot. It'll make that big Scobie for you, but it'll take longer to make the kombucha. You make your Scobie. Let me get the latest Scobie here. It's on the bottom now. It's got a rubbery, I don't know, consistency. It's hard to explain what kind of consistency it is. But we'll plop that in there. Hell, I'm going to plop 2 in there. And I still have more. And we'll put that in. Bloop, bloop. They'll float to the top or go to the bottom. Eventually, that Scobie is going to interact with the sweetness inside the tea and create a film on top to create a new Scobie. So fair warning, no matter what size vessel you have, the surface area on top will create a new Scobie. So we got that small Scobie from this. Now it's going to be a huge Scobie on top of here if we just leave it like that. So I'm going to have a breathable top lid. If I bring this down all the way, it'll explode. So I'm just going to nice and loose, and then I'm going to put that on my countertop. And I'm going to let it sit for a week. I'm going to try it. I'm going to let it sit for another week and try it until it tastes right to me. And you already had that texture there to know exactly what it tastes like. Don't be afraid to go get another one and say, okay, compare, and decide whether that's great. Some people bottle that stuff, but we're not going to go there. So that's how you make kombucha. That's how you make a Scobie. Let's continue on with what kombucha is. See, City Girl Country Head said, I can't eat yogurt. That's fine. You don't have to eat yogurt. We're going to talk about here in a second exactly what it has inside of this. So, inside this elixir, that's what it's called, it's an elixir. Here is your probiotic content. You got Gluconacetabacter. It has 85% in most samples of kombucha. You have Acetobacter, which is 2% of kombucha. Lactobacillus, which is the same stuff you find inside your yogurt, up to 30% in containment inside kombucha. And then Zygosaccharomyces has 95%. These are the bacteria, these are the good bacteria that go into your gut and destroy all the bad bacteria in your gut, right? So here are the nutrition facts of kombucha. It says here, I commonly hear people getting concerned about kombucha's calories. While nutrition facts differ between a brand and homemade brews, here is the breakdown on the popular kombucha brand. So each 16-ounce bottle, and this is I think 8. It's just 14 fluid ounces. Right? 4 grams of sugar, 20 milligrams of sodium, 100 micrograms of folate, which is 25% daily value of folate that you need. 0.34 grams of riboflavin or vitamin B2, which is 20% of the daily value that you should meet. 0.4 milligrams of vitamin B6, that's the super memory vitamin, 20% of your daily value. 0.3 milligrams of thiamine or vitamin B1, that's 20% of your daily value. 4 milligrams of niacin or vitamin B3, that's 20% of your daily value. And then 1.2 micrograms of B12, that's 20% of your daily value. So that is the nutrition you're gaining from this. It's actually a food because it's nutritional for your body. So next we're going to, I just mentioned pasteurized and unpasteurized. You know how milk is made. When you milk a cow, there are people who have raw milk. There are people who have pasteurized milk. Pasteurized milk is raised in temperature to kill off bad bacteria in the milk to make it legal for selling, because regular milk or unpasteurized milk is pretty much illegal these days. And unpasteurized. So unpasteurized, it's in its true original form, and it's good. So Chipson says, "Oh, SNL corn syrup skit was so funny. Google, YouTube, the corn syrup skit." Grandma, I've never made the tea stuff, but I am the same way with kimchi as far as not touching stuff. Kimchi is the bomb. For those of you folks who don't know what kimchi is, it's a fermented cabbage. The way Koreans, and it's obviously from Korea, the way Koreans make kimchi is they will take cabbage. It's usually, I can't remember the name of the cabbage. Kohlrabi? Not kohlrabi. That's a type of cabbage family. Bok choy. So they'll take a Chinese cabbage and they'll chop it up and they'll add some spices and they'll put it in a crock, a ceramic crock, right? Some spices, some salt, and this cabbage mixture, sometimes some peppers, and they'll place it in this crock. And what they'll do is they'll band the crock off or cover the crock to where dirt can't get inside of it. So they'll dig a hole, they'll place that crock in the hole, and let it sit 2, 3, 4, sometimes more. And what it does is it ferments the cabbage, and it turns it into this acidic, almost carbonated, if it's really good, tasty, crunchy coleslaw. Not coleslaw. It's not the proper term. What is it called? Sauerkraut. Kimchi is really good. So it's got all those same good bacteria for your gut that this stuff has as well. You just don't have to do all that hard work to do it. Never had lunch. I love sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's the same type of deal. It can be anything. The big ass white carrot things. Kimchi, thank you. You can make it in the house. Maybe we'll do a lesson on how to make kimchi. I got a good friend of mine, his name's Garner, and he makes kimchi all the time. And so maybe we'll have to remote into Garner and he can give us some tips on how to make kimchi. Kimchi is, next time you're in Walmart or you're at a supermarket, when you go to the produce section, where they have the fresh produce hidden out, that's the carrots, everything. The stuff that gets sprayed, this is not the stuff in the bag. Usually you'll find kimchi around there, right? And try it. I would say try it. If you like it, great. If not, maybe try kombucha instead. So, so let's continue on to the 8 benefits of kombucha. 1, it prevents a wide variety of diseases. While a lot of health claims for kombucha focus on the way it heals your gut, which in itself contributes to boost your immunity, there's also a fairly well confirmed body of evidence that contains powerful antioxidants that can help detoxify the body and protect against disease. Related to this disease-fighting power is the way these antioxidants help reduce inflammation. This inflammation-reducing detoxifying quality is probably one reason it might potentially decrease the risk of certain kinds of cancer. One reason why this happens is because antioxidants reduce oxidation, stress, and stress that can damage cells, even your own DNA. Being exposed to a lot of processed food and chemicals within your environment can lead to this stress, which in turn contributes to chronic inflammation, which leads to leaky gut, which leads to so on and so forth. It's a domino effect. While normal black tea does not contain antioxidants, research shows that fermentation process of kombucha creates antioxidants not present in black tea, like D-saracic acid, also known as glucaric acid. Kombucha may specifically influence the activity of two important antioxidants known as glutathione peroxidase and catalase. It was also discovered to contain isnoramethnetin, a metabolic quercetin. I'm speaking foreign language here. In December 2016, quercetin is associated with a long lifespan and massive anti-cancer properties. So these are some of the benefits of health support in kombucha. Number 2, supports your healthy gut. Naturally, the antioxidant prowess of this ancient tea counteracts free radicals that create mayhem in your digestive system. However, the greatest reason kombucha supports digestion is because of its highest levels of beneficial acid, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes. Some researchers have shown its ability to prevent and heal stomach ulcers. So if you have an ulcer, a lot of people say apple cider vinegar is a great thing to have when you have an ulcer. This in the same way affects stomach ulcers. It can help stop candida. That's that bacterial growth in your body. The pH level in your system adjusts to itself to counteract the acids in this, counteracts the acids and bacteria inside your body. So it stops candida from overpopulating within the gut, restoring balance to the digestive system with live probiotic cultures that help your gut repopulate with good bacteria while crowding out the candida yeast. Number 3, there's 8 by the way, we're going a little bit over, may help improve your mental state. Kombucha doesn't just help your digestion, it might be able to protect your mind too. One way it can accomplish this is by B vitamins it contains. The B vitamins, particularly vitamin B12, are known to increase energy levels and contribute to overall wellness in your mind. Its high vitamin B12 content is one reason supplements sometimes contain dry kombucha products. And we're going to talk about products in a minute. It's beneficial for your lungs. A probably unexpected benefits for kombucha. So you smokers out there, you need to listen to this. Benefit of kombucha is to use as a potential treatment method for silicosis, a lung disease caused by repeated exposure to silica particulates. Silica is bad for it. Silica, diatomaceous earth is silica. If you work in plants that have bricks and a lot of dust is thrown up, silica is thrown up, sand is silica. It's thrown up in the air and it gets particulates into your system, which can cause many different respiratory issues. Chinese scientists discovers that inhalation of kombucha could be the way to treat this and other diseases of lungs caused by inhalation of dangerous materials. That said, I would recommend you drink it rather than inhaling. This one seems a little counterintuitive, but it's true because of the type of bacteria found in kombucha. Drinking the live cultures actually destroys the bad bacteria responsible for infections. It has antibacterial effects, and we're going to move on to Alright. Number 6, helpful in managing diabetes. So for those who are diabetic, specific searchers suggest the opposite. This is assuming of course, that you consume kombucha without a high sugar load. You can make it with a low sugar load and have a low dose of the health benefits and drink more of it and have more benefits without having to consume all that sugar. So, particularly due to the functions of antioxidants in it, it seems to help alleviate diabetic symptoms in research studies using animal subjects, and more efficiently than anti-diabetic black tea from which it's fermented. This appears to be especially true of the term of the liver and kidney functions, which are generally poor with those with diabetes. So, number 7, good for cardiovascular system. Kombucha has been considered to be beneficial to the heart for some time, although research efforts in this area have been scarce. However, it seems clear that in animal models, kombucha helps lower triglycerides levels as well as regulate your cholesterol naturally. It's got high cholesterol, high triglycerides. Hey, it's just a drink. Why not try it, right? And finally, last but not least, it helps maintain a healthy liver. Since the liver helps filter out and convert harmful compounds, its vital component in digestion and overall health, the antioxidants kombucha may protect the liver from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress, I repeated that, and damage induced by acetaminophen overdose. See, if you're a person who takes acetaminophen a lot, you know it damages your liver. This can help reverse that issue. So, we already discussed how to make kombucha. We already discussed the Scobie. I'm going to keep going like this, acting like I'm reading through everything. Storing kombucha. Once your homemade kombucha is complete, you'll want to store it. When it goes into bottling, we're not going to discuss bottling. Best thing, when your kombucha is ready on the countertop, move it to your refrigerator. That's going to bring it to a low temperature to stop the fermentation process and keep it at the state that you prefer. Precautions and potentials of kombucha side effects. So most people experience great benefits in drinking kombucha and have no adverse side effects. There are minor considerations when you're making kombucha, as in who should not be drinking kombucha. If you are a sober person who went on who was an alcoholic prior, and you have vowed not to have any alcohol whatsoever, there is a slight, minute amount of alcohol made with kombucha. So if you jumped on the wagon, don't want to fall off the wagon in any way possible, kombucha is not for you. Okay. See if there's anybody else in here. Some side effects, a small percentage. People can experience bloating, nausea, infections, or allergic reactions when drinking it. If you have issues, don't drink it. People with HIV or AIDS, do not drink this because you're on a health regimen that does not include combining these ingredients in with your medications. So while it hasn't been studied that much in all pregnant women, there is always a concern that pregnant women shouldn't consume alcohol or caffeine, both in which are present in kombucha in small amounts. Before more formal research is conducted showing that it is completely safe, it is recommended that pregnant women do not drink kombucha. And finally, those folks who have sensitivity to caffeine. Kombucha will have a quarter amount of caffeine. So if you have a cup of kombucha and a cup of coffee, a cup of kombucha is going to have the quarter amount of caffeine as a cup of coffee, a regular cup of coffee. So there is caffeine in it. There is a small amount of alcohol in it. And everybody's saying it's a feel-good drink. Now you know why. So, one more thing I want to talk about is the Scobie. We'll circle back on the Scobie and we'll pull up an article here that I was reading. about the Scobie, and that is the uses of Scobie. So you saw the, I'm gonna actually pull this up on the screen. Promote a site here. Let me pull that up. This is pretty interesting because of what it is. It's uses for extra kombucha scobies. So these scobies will multiply more and more every time you make a batch. You'll have another scobie. The best thing you can do with a scobie is pass it on to somebody else so they can make their own kombucha, and you'll be good to go. So the first thing you should do is share. The best way to use an extra scobie is to help others start their own kombucha brew. Number 2, experience. Try making a batch with different sweeteners, teas, or juice. You can tell because the one I made was with store-bought peach tea, so it's going to have a peach flavor to it. It's going to be better than having just the regular tea. Now what people will do is they'll cut it up into pieces, put it into a blender, and add fruit to it, and they'll make a smoothie out of it, which is disgusting. Vegans will take it and they will marinate it in any flavor they want, like smoke or soy or whatnot, soy sauce or whatnot, and they'll dehydrate it and make vegan jerky out of it. And all this is cellulose. This is nothing. It has no actual food benefit. Some people make candy out of it. There are a few ways to make kombucha Scobie candy. Choose one that works for you using the sweetener of choice. Substitute for raw fish in sushi with a texture similar to squid. Kombucha Scobie can be cut up and eaten along with nori, rice, and vegetables, etc. This is a vegan alternative to fish. Use as a face mask. Kombucha Scobie can be used as a face mask either whole or ground up. Used as a bandage. Scobie can be used as a live bandage or under a bandage. It will sting a little, but the acidity is believed to help support healing. So burn victims they're actually doing studies on burn victims right now and how scobies can be used in place of skin grafts on burns. You can feed it to your pets. You can give it to your chickens. You can add it to your compost. You can make crafts and make June tea. June tea is another ancient fermented drink you can make. Make it at home by slowly converting a kombucha Scobie to feed on green tea and honey. This experimentation works best with a backup Scobie, so trying out this delightful drink another way is to use up extra Scobies. So this is good. The one of the interesting two most interesting things I saw what they did with the Scobie. They took a Scobie, they cut it up into chunks, they put it into a blender, and they added kombucha juice to where they could blend it to where it's a smoothie consistency. They added 2 cups of strawberries and placed it into a dehydrator on a fruit roll-up mat, and they made fruit roll-ups out of it. Guy said it was good. I haven't tried it. I haven't attempted it. Probably won't. Another thing people are doing now is they're creating such thick batches of Scobie. They're drying it out and making vegan leather out of it. And this is a leather-like consistency and use and pliability that people use to make shoes, clothing, and vegan clothing. So it has many uses. And the thing about it is it's completely 100% biodegradable. So I thought I'd share that with you before jumping off here. So let me pull up what's going on here. Boom. So let's look at some of the comments. 2 family homesteads in the house. City Girl says, I'm a mom. My mental state is lost. Laugh out loud. Grandma, I am going to start doing that next month. City Girl Country Heart. Hope it helps you. That would be fantastic. Chip Siegel said, just emailed BreakAway Homesteader. Screenshot of multiple pics of our last kimchi making. I'll open that up here in a second. Grandma, so I hope so. I need a healthy gut. My mom made kombucha 20 years ago for hot flashes. They called it mushroom tea back then. And just to clarify, it's not a mushroom. Um, Chip Siegel says, now we're getting into the real disgusting stuff. No animal food replacements. Deborah E says, good night, good night. I know we went over and we'll be getting off here very shortly. Deborah E, have you heard the good for them too? Good night too, family homestead. Well, Grandma's so happy. City Girl Country Hard, get busy. You could also do much with yours. Laugh out loud. City Girl says, gotta run. I'll finish watching this later. City Girl says, night all. So that's really the show for tonight. We made kombucha. We made the process to make a Scobie. I showed you where you can get a Scobie. And then showed you the variants of what you could do. We talked about the ingredient content, the calorie content, and the content of all the healthy bacteria and antioxidants inside kombucha. A good place to look for more advice on kombucha. I know it's faddish, but Dr. Axe, he is a good source for specifically kombucha. Here's the reason why. His brother owns a kombucha brewing company, and so he does this stuff commercially. And so if anybody knows, it's going to be him because it's a family business. And a lot of these facts came verbatim from his site. And so he's a doctor. I can see why we would be able to trust him in the least bit amount. But to say the least, it's good for you. And you should try it. If you don't like it, give it to somebody else. Pass it. Pass the buck. So I hope you guys found this very interesting, very informative. I hope you learned something. I hope you take it, rewatch it again, watch this a second time, send it to your family members, share it on social media, and pass the word around about our Tuesday night live shows. We do these shows every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we try to make up a subject that can get people to learn something new. And if they know the subject, maybe something they didn't know about that subject. Like, again, making leather from a symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria. So we'll see you again next Tuesday. We'll have a new subject for you next Tuesday. It's Megan's turn to come up with a subject, so I don't know what it is yet. And we'll be sure to get that out, hopefully the day before it actually starts, like we did this time. Had a great turnout here, folks. We had probably 26 people at one time on this live stream, which is really big for us. And so you guys keep your head on the swivel. Be safe. Be faithful to everyone around you. And be good. You guys have a good week. Enjoy your time above the ground because it's the only time we got. You guys have a good night. I hope y'all